A very good morning or good afternoon and a warm welcome to this SAP ALM Summit EMEA session, Discover How SAP Cloud ALM Manages SAP S/4HANA Cloud. My name is John Krakowski, and I'm a product manager for application lifecycle management based in North America and specifically in Newtown Square. And so let's get started. Of course, our standard disclaimer is covering this session, which in summary states that any development or future planning that we may discuss or mention in this session is subject to the disclaimer, meaning that it can change at any time without notice. So please do not make any decisions on any features or functions that are not yet available in any of our products. Of course, our social media, and specifically our hashtag #ALM Summit, is always active. So please feel free at any time, 24/7, 365 days, to mention our hashtag and add your comments to social media concerning any of our content that you may be consuming. Our agenda today is first to introduce SAP Cloud ALM, and then we'll talk how SAP Cloud ALM supports SAP S/4HANA Cloud from an implementation and operations point of view. And then we'll, of course, do a live demo, and then have a call to action, some additional information. The big picture, SAP Cloud ALM is intended to help accelerate your success with the power, your success going to SAP S/4HANA with the power of SAP Cloud ALM. Enabling every enterprise to become an intelligent, sustainable enterprise is the goal of SAP. And we want you to be ultimately very successful in doing this. So ideally, customers want to get a more consistent governance process around their SAP products, whether it's today or their future landscape and what their environment is going to look like. But they want that process in one place. For example, making their design decisions for an audit trail, to collaborate better, keep their content updated, and simply to promptly find things when and where they need it to be more efficient and scale operations. And this is where, with SAP Cloud ALM, there is a better way to streamline and deliver better implementation quality, release cycle updates, operation experience with built-in support while reducing issues and costs. There are three main dimensions in SAP Cloud ALM, starting with the implementation or adopting our latest innovation, covering the key topic areas of designing your solution, building your solution, testing your solution, and deploying your solution. There is the operational aspects of SAP Cloud ALM, focusing on keeping your business running, from detecting anomalies, analyzing them, correcting them, and automating any anomalies or issues that may be reoccurring. And then the third, somewhat new dimension of SAP Cloud ALM is to optimize our service delivery, from preparing, delivering, sharing, and following up. The intention is to streamline the service delivery process, making it more transparent, especially for our customers. I'd like to take a little time and call out two key, roles that SAP Cloud ALM can be quite beneficial to. One is our customers' centers of excellence. The COEs typically are tasked with driving transparency, efficiency, quality across the implementation, innovation, and operations of their software solution. Business and IT alignment remains one of the key challenges that COEs are tasked with. And SAP Cloud ALM is intended to bridge this gap. How? By acting as a central collaboration hub that supports all key stakeholders and their strategies. Another key group that SAP Cloud ALM can be extremely important for are our enterprise architects. Typically, they are the trusted advisors of their key stakeholders to help them make the right decisions to drive their innovations and maintaining business resilience and continuity. And I'll be explaining how SAP Cloud ALM in this presentation can specifically help EAs and organizations' COEs to be more efficient in adopting SAP S/4HANA Cloud. An example of successes that are already being realized by leveraging SAP Cloud ALM are highlighted here. This ever-growing list of customer quotes and references highlights how SAP Cloud ALM is making an immediate impact on our customer base. But what I'd like to do is make a call out, a call to action, in that if you have a success story and like to contribute to the ALM ecosystem and share your story with us, we have an email inbox, cloudalm@sap.com. So I encourage you, if you'd like to be part of highlighting how your organization has benefited from SAP Cloud ALM, please do contact us. I'd like to spotlight one key success statement that was made, and this is in a blog from SAP Press promoting one of their books. But I thought it was quite interesting in how this can be helpful. So let me click on the link here directly in the presentation and go directly to the blog. And I'd like to just scroll down, and you could read this, of course, at your convenience. But this one visual, I think, really highlights the intention of SAP Cloud ALM in combination with a customer's objective towards becoming and transforming to the intelligent enterprise, in that SAP Cloud ALM plus the customer RBEI equals intelligent enterprise, efficiency, simplicity, transparency, co-innovation, central repository, and finally, customer success in a very efficient way. And at the root, this is where Cloud ALM is intended to be quite beneficial to our customers. Also, we have a very strong program in place to collaborate with our partners, who are critical path to the success of our customers. In the areas of endorsing our ALM portfolio, and particularly SAP Cloud ALM, embedding SAP Cloud ALM, no different than our customers, we hope and intend our customers to embed SAP Cloud ALM within their COEs, within their organizations. But our partners also have the unique position to extend SAP Cloud ALM to help meet the specific requirements and needs of our customers that may be unique to them. SAP Cloud ALM is fully extendable. So taking its core or elementary functions and features and capabilities in SAP Cloud ALM, our partner ecosystem is already starting to extend it to help meet the needs of their customers or our customers combined. One example of this is the Bosch SAP Cloud Collaboration app, which is intended to integrate SAP Cloud products, including SAP Cloud ALM, with MS Teams. Let's take a look at the SAP Store link to this to show you just, again, one example of how Bosch and its collaboration app can be beneficial and enhance and meet specific and unique requirements on your side. So via the SAP store, you can look at it at a glance, understand its features, its pricing, technical information, resources, reviews, and directly contact Bosch for even more information. Now let's take a look at SAP Cloud ALM for the implementation dimension on how it can help your journey implementing and adopting SAP S/4HANA Cloud. From an implementation point of view, the first, say, key item is the available content that is available in SAP Cloud ALM for SAP S/4HANA. And as you can see, SAP S/4HANA Cloud, SAP S/4HANA On-Premise, SAP S/4HANA Business, SAP Business Suite, Private Edition, along with other SAP Cloud products, content is now available. Actually, the content for SAP S/4HANA Cloud was the first content that was available in SAP Cloud ALM for our customers to take advantage of. Leveraging this content and using SAP Cloud ALM to drive your implementation project, you can realize these benefits. Efficiently run your fit to standard workshops, onboard team members, your project team members, automate task assignments, update task assignments, fulfill task assignments, report on task assignments, orchestrate testing activities, consistently deploy to production your changes and configuration, while realizing maximum traceability and flexibility using the reporting and dashboarding that is available in SAP Cloud ALM, along with tracking the progress. The goal of SAP Cloud ALM, as stated down below, is that it provides a harmonized project implementation experience. And I'll show you this in the online demo in just a few minutes. A little more detail concerning the key activities that are part of SAP Cloud ALM for your implementation activities. In the design phase or in the design activities, it's consuming those SAP best practices that I spoke of earlier. Visualize and leverage the process diagrams in your fit to standard workshops, and manage any requirements that you may have unique for your organization. The building activities is performing the configuration activities and manage any extensions following SAP's recommended tasks. The testing of your configuration and any requirements that you may have. And also in the testing is the ability to integrate automated testing tools so you can take full advantage of test automation via SAP Cloud ALM for your implementation project. And then, of course, the deployment and the orchestration of those key changes in a consistent way into your productive environment without any issues. Of course, all these phases are covered by analytics and traceability for your entire process. Key questions for SAP S/4HANA Cloud's project team that are common include: which project methodology should be used? How do you handle unique requirements? How do you transport or deploy in a manageable, safe manner into your productive environment? Where do you document your processes? How do you document your development? How do you test your processes? Answering these questions typically could result in inconsistent experiences with our customers. It's hard sometimes for them to keep up, difficult to manage, increasing the efforts that are needed on the customer side to manage and answer these questions or overburden the teams. Typically, answers to this are result in fragmented type of solutions. This is where SAP Cloud ALM can indeed help. How? By centrally managing tasks, processes, testing, change and deployment activities, while realizing, as you can see on the right-hand side, central reporting and dashboard that gives you that single pane of glass. What in the past we typically would say the single source of truth for everything that is needed for your project. SAP Cloud ALM can do that today. Let's look a little bit about how SAP Cloud ALM can support SAP S/4HANA Cloud from an operations point of view. Just looking a little bit about classical architecture. As you can see, business scenario, business processes, typically in the past supported by SAP CRM, SAP ERP. But the Intelligence Suite architecture is significantly different and changed, with more cloud products supporting the scenarios and business processes. So this results in challenges, transforming from a monolithic distributed business solution to a distributed business solution, increasing complexity to find issues and analyze root causes, and a higher effort is needed to consider business processes end-to-end. The answers to these via SAP Cloud ALM is leveraging the use cases or applications that are supported by SAP Cloud ALM for operations, including business process monitoring, integration and exception monitoring, user and performance monitoring, and application monitoring and health monitoring. These answers, these capabilities can be realized today in SAP Cloud ALM for operations. Once again, there are key questions that are common amongst our customer base when it comes to managing business continuity and resilience of their operation activities, such as how do you ensure business process health? How do you realize visibility and interface calls and message flows? How do you monitor end user performance usage? How do you understand the success of jobs across cloud services and systems? How do you know the overall technical health of cloud services and systems? And how do you represent technical events to business users? Challenges that our customers are faced with in reality today. SAP Cloud ALM for operations helps to answer all of these questions by ensuring higher performance quality, being able to realize alerts immediately with the advanced analytics, predict, and a key item of a cloud-based solution such as SAP Cloud ALM is the machine learning, AI ops, automation that can be achieved via the tool, resulting in superior SLAs with transparent reporting across your entire solution. Let's do a quick look at the functional overview and scenarios that are covered by SAP Cloud ALM for operations. First, we have our input channels. Metrics, configuration items, log entries, events, and alerts all are coming from the SAP products that are part of your solution. They are fed into and consumed by the 6 business use cases or applications that are supported by SAP Cloud ALM, from business process monitoring down to health monitoring. There's a special highlight that the new use case configuration and security analysis is now available in SAP Cloud ALM, resulting in the problem detection. But these alerts out of these use cases can be overwhelming, can flood IT operations, COEs. So what is unique to SAP Cloud ALM for operations is a separate intelligent event processor. This is the brain, this is the filter, this is the routing mechanism that takes the existing alerts and forwards them into the various resolution areas or consumption areas that you choose, whether it's alerting, notification, analytics and intelligence, and operation automation, resulting in the integration from an outbound channel to generating required emails, chats, generating tickets, generating tasks, fulfilling common analytics, and having operation flows to help resolve those issues. But not only is this available in SAP Cloud ALM for Operations, but there's the overall arching service level management. So that interaction, as I mentioned earlier, business and IT alignment, they come to an agreement that there are certain service levels that need to be maintained. This is where you have that overall view, the reporting, supported by business service management. Business service management, in a nutshell, is taking technical KPIs and presenting them in a way that is understandable, that makes sense, that for business users. There is also an event calendar that is part of SAP Cloud ALM for Operations, so you can enter in, for example, your downtimes, whether they be SAP or customer related, to affect the alerting, to affect the impact and notifications and analytics and automation that you may want or not want to occur during a particular event. I'd like to share a little bit about and highlight how SAP S/4HANA Cloud is fully supported by SAP Cloud ALM for Operations. Within the link is our roadmap, and the roadmap is our living documentation for what has been, is currently, and will hopefully be supported in SAP Cloud ALM for Operations. What I'm showing you now is a static representation, meaning that quite possibly a minute after you view this recording and attend the session, something could change. So just use this as a reference. But my intention for showing you this is to show you the scope, the breadth and depth of coverage of SAP S/4HANA Cloud and all its related flavors that are supported by the scenarios of SAP Cloud ALM for Operations. Not only what is currently available, but there is ongoing improvements, incremental improvements that are being made to support SAP S/4HANA, which leads in a key takeaway in that if you find that you are in need of improvements in the way your operations, the way your business processes are monitored, your integration and exceptions are dealt with, your user and performance activities are maybe missing, job and automation monitoring, configuration and security transparency, and overall health monitoring of your solution, SAP Cloud ALM is the go-to solution to fulfill these requirements and needs and update your environment. Leveraging SAP Cloud ALM for Operations today will give you a strong foundation to support your transformation journey. So as you go and support your as-is solution, it will be enabled to be able to best support your to-be solution. Okay, so let's now jump to the system to do a demo for us. I'm going to stop my video just for bandwidth across the internet to help with the demo. The system, I just want to call out some important items. Before we go into the actual demo environment, if you have not yet obtained your or requested your SAP S/4HANA Cloud tenant, there are a couple important prerequisites. One is taking a look at the usage rights. So before provisioning, just review the usage rights, and they're pretty simple. Usage rights are included in your SAP Cloud subscription and in SAP Enterprise Support. And SAP Enterprise Support, of course, contains our PSLE, Max Attention, Active Attention-based customers. So if you have a maintenance contract or an SAP Cloud Service subscription, you are available to provision your own SAP Cloud ALM tenant. The next item I'd like to draw your attention to is, as simple as the provisioning process is, within our help documentation, we have a very efficient 3-minute video that will walk you through all the required steps and give you that extra confidence to know that you have everything in line so your provisioning process is as efficient as possible. And just as an FYI, the provisioning process typically takes less than 15 minutes, maybe a little more, but I kind of tend to think about it as a coffee break. So you would start the provisioning process and then go to your closest coffee corner, grab a beverage of choice, whether it's coffee, tea, water, whatever, have a brief chat with a colleague, and when you return to your desk, your room, your cubicle, no doubt you will have received a welcome email to take the next steps to configure or access your SAP Cloud ALM tenant. So the recommendation is take a look at the help documentation and watch this short little video. Then once you have done that, now you'll be able to start the process to log into your SAP Cloud ALM tenant. And what I'm doing here is this is our public demo system. There's a number of predefined roles. Suggestion is there are a number of roles that will restrict, limit, whether you're a project manager or IT operations. I suggest initially using the overall all-in-one user that has full authorizations, just so you can see all available tiles and cards that are available across the different scenarios, whether they be SAP Cloud ALM for implementation, for operations, for service, and the administration activities, which include the user management and landscape management. Oh, one thing I did not mention is that once you provision your SAP Cloud ALM tenant, you will receive a follow-up email from a team that monitors our Cloud ALM at sap.com inbox for a live welcome session that will provide all the foundational information, bring to life, and be available to answer your questions for the follow-up required configuration of SAP Cloud ALM. Of course, we have full documentation that you can do it on your own, but we're providing this additional welcome session help to just kind of help along the way and provide you some learnings, best practices, things to watch for, so that you are the most efficient and prepared to do the configuration of your SAP Cloud ALM tenant. So first, let's take a look at the implementation side of things. Let's go into our projects and setup. And here, this will give us a view of all projects that are existing. Now, of course, in this particular case, there's 2,104 active projects, which typically you would not have in your environment. But this is our public demo that anybody is able to create things and explore the functions and features. In the more section, let me just call out one particular item that can be a key differentiator, not only in the success of leveraging SAP Cloud ALM, but particularly to mention to your key stakeholders who are responsible for purchasing your SAP products, and that is support. support is increasingly being very important, has been, but also increasingly important for, say, CIOs, in that how well can your software provider support their applications? In SAP Cloud ALM, there throughout all of its functions and features is built-in support. So you can immediately engage in a very efficient way to interact with our support organization, which, as being always in the support side of SAP, I feel we are, if not the best support organization when it comes to supporting our customers. You also have the ability to provide feedback. So if there is, say, an improvement or an understanding that you need, you can reach out to us throughout this entire application. So built-in support, immediate feedback, also online help is all accessible on all screens within SAP Cloud ALM. Now let's do a search on one that I found recently, a cron heating. Here's one, S/4HANA Cloud. A colleague created this, not me, and they made a little note, do not touch. So kind of just be cautious, because this can be, you can view this right along with me if you wish, or immediately afterwards. So let's expand using the icon here at the top, full screen mode. And what I want to immediately draw your attention to is when you first create your project, you will then assign an SAP Activate task template. This is bringing to life SAP's best practices and its tasks for our scenarios and processes. Of course, you can visualize and download SAP Activate's best practices, tasks, templates, accelerators. But what do you do with them afterwards? Here, you've integrated. We have 100% tight integration from SAP Activate and its task templates into the project structure of SAP Cloud ALM to allow you to then act on them, to adjust them, to assign them, to report on them, all for that transparency and efficiency purposes. Also, you'll assign the access level. This is somewhat new. If I go in this upper right-hand corner, click on Edit, you can see the various options for the access level. Public, anyone can view everything within the project and also make changes to it, regardless of your role assignment in your team. Restricted is the default. Restricted means that you need to be part of the project team. Within that role, then you'll be able to make changes, while everyone else can just view what is going on within a project. And then there's the most restrictive, which is private, meaning that it is hidden unless you are part of the project team. So you would select your access level, and if you have an integration scenario, for example, central business configuration integration, and you will set your initial status and current phase. Let me cancel out of this. You also have the ability within your project setup to define your time boxes, your phases, the dates for each of the phase: prepare, explore, realize, deploy, and run, all based on SAP Activate. If you're adopting and leveraging agile type of methodology, there you can define sprints and you can set your milestones. So this is typically your business process experts with the project owner or manager. The teams is where you assign team members based on the roles. This is quite important in that the roles are directly linked to the various tasks that are delivered from SAP Activate. So immediately upon defining, say, for example, the business process expert, all tasks that are coming in from SAP Activate for the role business process expert will be immediately assigned to that person or groups. You can have multiple team members. So, and then those multiple team members in the reporting and analytics can filter on all tasks that are responsible for the business process expert role or for their own individual. Scopes is an important item. Projects always have what I guess we could call a charter or an objective. It's an entity that denotes a collection of solution scenarios, which in turn constitute solution processes. And this content is preloaded into SAP Cloud ALM from our SAP Enterprise Architecture Reference Library. So the scopes are, again, the charter or the objective of that project. And you could have one to many. So for example, here's a particular custom scope, Plant Berlin. And when we go into it, we can see there are 4 solution processes associated with it. Now, this is leading into something quite valuable, and that is the direct link from the scoped or assigned solution processes to visualize them as you conduct your fit to standard workshops, as you're doing your design work. We have first the solution value view, which is represented on the left-hand side, and key information on the right-hand side regarding that. From here, you can also visualize the solution process flow. Now, this is very valuable in that this is our best practices. And as part of your Fit to Standard workshops, your project team reviews these standard processes. And as part of that living documentation, you can assign or create a requirement or note saying this process step needs to be extended, more information or documentation, testing scripts need to be created for this particular step. In your Fit to Standards workshop, you are adding requirements and notes. There is also, over here on the upper right-hand side, you also can create user stories and project tasks that need to be accomplished by the appropriate team member. Another valuable item that was recently introduced into SAP Cloud ALM is to take the standard process flow diagram and copy it with the purpose to edit it. So upon copying, and let me go up to here. If I do a save on this copy, what you will see is you can now go into edit mode, and here's the palette to allow you to adjust the standard delivered best practice content based on your particular requirements. Okay. And let me go back to the main screen for this particular project. So in summary, just this screen and the information that is provided here gives you the project name, its SAP Activate template, its access level, its related integration scenario, its time boxes, the team members, the scope of the project, and lastly, the deployment landscape. These are the technical systems or tenants for deployment purposes of moving your changes. Not only can you align the physical systems to your project, but you can also now create what we call a deployment plan, which allows you to match your releases to the systems. So this is an option for you, but this highlights the tight integration between the capabilities of SAP Cloud ALM and the needs of your project. Let's take a look at requirements. There is a separate from the palette along the left-hand side. You have full transparency over all of your requirements. You have filtering that is possible, very extensive filtering based on the needs of the project team member. And you can also, from here with the requirements, you can download or upload requirements and create, say, templates. So if there are requirements that are, say, will be typical across all projects, you can leverage this upload and download capability. Let's take a look at the feature. And what is a feature? Feature is, say, a container that has the technical changes that are part of your project. Let's try one and see what we have here. Here's a feature that has one transport request associated with it. So the feature can use a timeline and be related to a timeline, which we called a release. And I mentioned that earlier, between the release and the technical systems. And so managing the release and the landscape together, the larger entity, a deployment plan, can manage the transports and the features that are part of your projects. So these features are containing the technical changes that are being made as part of your project. And then once they're created, they are moved into your productive environment based on the timelines of your, say, deployment plan. So this, once again, gives you full transparency. Now, no, from a change enablement point of view, we are improving this particular area in an incremental way. We're able to manage deployment plans and releases for one or multiple features. And down the road, short-term, mid-term, we're looking to include things like time-based feature deployments, leveraging what we call tags and references, having additional roles, and then integrating with workflows that can be leveraged. Okay. Now let me go back up to and jump to our operational area and highlight a key item relevant for practically all customers, and that is the integration and exception monitoring. Here you define your integration scenario. Here's one S/4HANA, and let's take a look at its alert. In line with the flow of the inbound channels and the scenario, you can receive alerts regarding any integration exception or anomaly that may occur, and then drill into the details of that particular error or anomaly. Over on the right-hand side, you have the actions. You can confirm it, add a comment, assign a processor, send a notification, or in case of having an automation flow created, you can start that automation flow to resolve that particular issue. So from an operational point of view, and in the use case of integration and exception monitoring, this is the type of benefit that you have for that single source of truth for all things operationally to support your SAP S/4HANA cloud-centric landscape. Let me jump back to the presentation and go through some additional information. Now, from an SAP S/4HANA Cloud point of view, there are a number of SAP ALM offerings that can support that. In this particular case, from an implementation point of view, SAP Solution Manager, SAP Cloud ALM. And we have some recommendations. You look at the SAP S/4HANA Cloud flavor, whether it's public, private, or SAP Business Suite, here is our very high-level guidance. In a nutshell, if you have not yet invested in SAP Solution Manager to support your existing as-is environment, we recommend SAP Cloud ALM as your first go-to environment. Why? Because of the simplicity of enabling SAP Cloud ALM, both from an operations and implementation point of view to support that environment. However, if you have significant investments in SAP Solution Manager, you have complex project and operational implementation requirements, continue to use Solution Manager to drive your project to success. And look for opportunities to leverage SAP Cloud ALM to supplement and in that eventual transition from SAP Solution Manager to SAP Cloud ALM. I've included a blog series by my colleague, Kai Rodeman, who has expertly summarized and provide not only a summary view, but also full details on whether SAP Solution Manager or SAP Cloud ALM is right for your implementation journey. Also, he has provided, and he will continue to provide, regular update blogs to supplement his original blog series, answering questions such as you can see on the left-hand side, such as which implementation capability do you need? A call to action. If you have not yet provisioned your SAP Cloud ALM tenant, the recommendation is do so immediately. It gives you the opportunity to start to embed SAP Cloud ALM into your portfolio of tools to best support your environment across the three dimensions: implementation, operations, and service. We've been running a number of campaigns to highlight how SAP Cloud ALM can support our different lines of businesses. The first campaign, back in 2021, was SAP Cloud ALM for S/4HANA Cloud. So I've included the community blog that provides key unique details on how SAP Cloud ALM can uniquely support SAP S/4HANA Cloud-based innovation project, and also operationally. On the SAP Cloud ALM homepage, there you have the ability to obtain the very latest information, try it out, and request it. There's also a new end-to-end story for implementation that I strongly suggest reading, created by one of our lead topic owners regarding the project capabilities of SAP Cloud ALM to support implementations. Also, just breaking news is if you are listening, or if you're listening live to this session or will be listening soon to this recording, my colleague, once again, Kai Rodeman, rock star of our customer communication and relations team, we'll be hosting a number of virtual events specifically for application lifecycle management for SAP S/4HANA Cloud, Cloud ALM, or SAP Solution Manager. So there's 4 of them here on 4 different dates. You can use this QR code to register for them. So do, if you are able, take advantage of this. Enjoy the impact that SAP Cloud ALM can make for you. We're confident that SAP Cloud ALM is the right ALM solution for the future. Finding your timeline on adopting SAP Cloud ALM for operations or for implementation is totally up to you. And we're here to help with assets and sessions such as this. So I do thank you for your time and wish you all the best in your journey to the intelligent enterprise and using the streamlined capabilities on why SAP Cloud ALM in its intuitiveness, its comprehensiveness, the experience that it can provide to you to take out the complexity and provide you that deep understanding and transparency to drive your implementation and existing operations and ongoing continuous improvement. So I thank you once again.